It's Lighthouse Angel here. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Happy Friday. I hope that you do something fun and exciting this weekend. Something to bring in the magic, right? Changing up the energy. I went ahead and got the overall energy for the reading here. I'm going to pull a couple more cards, and I have some messages from the compass box as well. So let's go ahead and get started. We have 3 animal spirit cards here. We have deer, and it's love. It says, be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. And what's interesting is that we have the grace card here. It says, and it's the swan spirit. It says, you who glides across the waters of my soul. Bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. So grace is here 3 times. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. Okay. And what I'm getting is like someone is admiring who this could be like a secret admirer or something that is admiring your grace, your wisdom, your light, right? That you see that you see the light in all things. That's what I'm getting with those. And then we have sea turtle. Protection. You could be seeing, if you see deer or swans or sea turtles, that could be a confirmation that this is your reading. It says you are master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm of your path, and it will unfold. Persevere and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy. And I feel like that's divine protection here, right? I feel like that's divine's protection here. As you surrender and go with the flow and allowing things to unfold naturally here. And keep moving on your path, okay? Because the next card we have is you are limitless. You can do anything you choose. And I feel like the divine is here saying you can do anything you choose, or maybe somebody who has love for you is going to support your dreams. I'm getting that as well. Okay? And what the other thing I got with this card, and there's actually swans in this card. And there's peacock feathers. So like her whole hair, so this is a unicorn, okay? And there's like swans in the front, and then there's like a woman like on this unicorn, and her hair is made out of peacock feathers. And my reading yesterday was all about peacocking yourself, right? So this is just another confirmation of that you're limitless. The number 4 could be significant. It says you can do anything you choose. So I feel like you're protected here. And because I saw grace on here 3 times. So I was guided to look up the meaning for grace, okay? The biblical meaning of grace. Excuse me. And it says, in the Bible, grace refers to God's unmerited favor, kindness, and love towards humanity, which cannot be earned through good works, but is given freely. Okay? And that's what I was talking about, like divine protection here, right? But I also feel like, we'll find out more about this love situation here. But this could just be loving yourself as well, right? Because it says be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. Maybe you're able to offer the power of healing with grace here as well. And then the other two cards we got is the reason some people have walked away from you for no reason has nothing to do with you. They have been removed from your life because the universe is taking you to where you need to go next. They have already served their purpose in your life. Let them go. Keep moving. Greater is coming. Okay. So if you're somebody who I'm noticing that people are falling away in your life, it's because you're growing and expanding and evolving, right? And so in doing so, the divine will pull away people that are no longer for you so that he can start bringing in the new people that are, okay? So don't try to hold on to something that's no longer for you, okay? Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them or anything like that. It's that, not everybody is meant or can go where you're going, okay? Because, it could be that the people around you aren't focused on their healing, their growing, their growth and expansion, but you are. And so in doing so, those people are no longer in alignment with you, right? You've stepped into a new frequency, a new vibration. And so in order to get you to where God is taking you, you have to allow the things that are holding you back be released, okay? I'm hearing you're meant for more. That's just what I heard. You're meant for more. It says, in relationships, the biggest thing you must look for is consistency. Every time you forgive someone who is not being consistent with you, you are giving them permission to hurt you again. You deserve better. Okay, so maybe there's a relationship that you're in, or you need to release here because they're not consistent. They're playing games with you, and you keep giving them another chance when you deserve better here. I mean, there's two cards here talking about releasing what no longer serves you so that the better can come in. Okay? And you can't receive what the divine wants for you if you're still holding on to the old. Okay? It's the question of, would you keep holding on to what you have if you knew something better was coming? So, something to think about there. And then we got number 5. Be true to who you are. Fear will not stop you from shining. Yeah, the divine wants you to step into your truth here, right? That you're limitless. That the love that you offer, I'm hearing the love that you offer is divinely protected here. And don't be afraid to be who you are, okay? Because, I talked about that yesterday. It's your superpower here. We have 2 unicorns, so unicorns could be significant. Neither one of these decks are a unicorn deck, but we have 2 unicorns here. So don't allow the fears to get in the way of you shining your beautiful light here. Because it says, see the light in all things, like you are the light. Right? And the divine is here saying, you have the wisdom and the light, right, to help others go through a transformation in a way that's graceful. I'm hearing honorable, right? And it's being protected, and you're limitless. I mean, it's a couple of confirmations here, with yesterday's reading with the peacock feathers. And then it says, it's number 21, which is also number 3. It says, let go of the past. It's time to envision a new story. Yeah. And I feel that's, releasing things that no longer serve you. This woman is walking on this new path here. And it can be male or female. We don't do gender here. But let go of the past, walking into who you truly are, right? Releasing any fears or doubts, because you're meant to shine here, okay? You're meant to shine. And, I talked about yesterday about, healing and the journey, and, it's really not that complicated, but it's a very difficult and can be a very difficult path, because in order to grow and expand and evolve towards the best version of yourself means that you will have to release and cut away from people who are no longer good for you, that want to keep you small or want to keep you stuck, right? And those people can be family, they can be friends, long-term friends, or business partners, or colleagues, or, it can be an array of different people, right? And that can be the most difficult thing. But if you don't release them, then they're going to hold you back from your purpose, okay? Your divine purpose, your purpose to be limitless. Okay, because you have the power to do anything you choose. This could be like the energy that you're in right now. Peacocking yourself, we talked about that yesterday. And we have 2 swans here. It's like you're peacocking yourself with grace. And that's like your unique. I'm hearing that's your uniqueness, okay? So let go of the past, step into who you truly are now after I'm talking to somebody who maybe is in the process of going through a transformation, or you've been through a transformation, right? Releasing people and relationships that are no longer in alignment with you, right? And you can release these people out of love. Right? Because when you release somebody, you want nothing more than for them to heal themselves, right? For them to become the best version of themselves. But they have to make that choice, right? Your job is to stay focused on your path and what you can do to grow and evolve into the best version of yourself, going through that evolution. That's what I'm hearing, evolution, right? But it comes with releasing people, being able to walk that path alone, if that's required, okay? Because the divine is still with you, guiding you, right? But he can't bring in the new if you're still hanging on to the old, right? You've got to cut those cords. Right? Releasing them out of love. Because you deserve better here. When someone has already shown you who they are, right? You have to see that truth. You can't fall in love with somebody's possibilities. Okay? You've got to see the truth that they're operating out of right now, okay? And that's why consistency is key. Actions speak louder than words, okay? And they can tell you everything. And you deserve something better. That's who okay? All right, so I'm going to get a couple more cards to clarify. And then we'll get some messages from the compass box, okay? And then if we get some more information in the compass box where it pulls us back to love, I'll pull some cards on love. But right now, I'm just feeling like it's more about loving yourself and moving forward, stepping in your truth of who you are and releasing the past and the people that are no longer in alignment with you, because you're protected here. The divine is walking with you here, okay? Because you are limitless and you don't want to allow any relationships or people to hold you back from what you're trying to achieve here, right? I'm hearing they can't go where you're going. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Let's see. What else, Spirit? Yeah. And it's funny, I just said they can't go where you're going, and she's out on this boat by herself. It says to the sea. It's number 7. That can be significant, right? The divine, it's like I feel like this face is the divine guiding you. There's an arrow on the front of this boat, right? The divine is guiding you through this, I'm hearing solo journey. Maybe you're on your own going through this, right? The divine is leading you to your next destination. Okay? And while, and I'm also getting with this, is that you're protected. You're divinely protected here as he guides you, surrendered to the journey, okay? Maybe you've had to walk away from people, places, things, jobs, right? And now you're on this journey, holding hands with God and Jesus as they guide you here. And the divine's here, I'm protecting you, right? Okay? Because it's interesting, we have sea turtle and it says to the sea. Okay? And they just want you to go with the flow, okay? And if you are somebody who's chosen the healing path and you've had to release people, right? And now you're alone, you're not really alone. The divine is always with you, okay? So when you feel lonely or alone, you need to take that to the divine so they can work on healing you. But this is where you get the most clarity. This is where you get the most growth. This is where you learn about your purpose. This is where you learn about who you really are. Okay? Away from the distractions, away from the people that want to keep you small, away from the people who want to dim your light, right? People who want to distract you from not seeing your truth or your purpose, right? This, and a lot of people are afraid to be alone, okay? But it's that fear that's keeping them from their limitless opportunities, from their divine blessings, from realizing who they really are. Because you find all those truths when you're alone, okay? You truly learn how to love yourself, right? Giving all those things to yourself that you were out seeking in other people, right? You become whole. So what may seem like something that you're afraid to do, right? Step into a solo journey. It causes major transformation in your life. Okay? So this is, and remember, when you step into this journey and you do this solo thing, if that's what the divine is guiding you to, you need to understand it's only a season. It's not a lifetime. Okay? But in order for him to work with you and heal you, he has to get you away from the distractions so you can hear him, so he can heal you. Okay? So don't be afraid to be alone. It's powerful. It's about taking your power back, right? And giving everything that you need, all the love, the attention, right? To yourself. So that next time somebody steps into your life and wants to offer you a relationship, you'll never settle for less than what you deserve because you're strong enough to give it to yourself. Okay? And when you have, and also when you're on this solo dolo journey with the divine, you create this unbreakable bond, right? And that's another thing where you won't settle because you have everything you need within yourself and the connection that you have with the divine, which is always number one. And you're whole, but you have to be willing to step into this journey, which can be the hardest for a lot of people. Okay? Because you have to see the truth in others. And that can be difficult, especially if it's family, friends that have been around for, you for a long time. It's like you actually have to look and see the truth that, you know what, maybe they aren't good for me. Maybe they don't have my best interest at heart. Maybe they are really wanting to keep me small, or maybe they are really jealous of me, right? Maybe they are really talking about me when I turn and walk away. Maybe they are stabbing me in the back and I don't realize it. Okay? You have to be able to see the truth and be able and be willing to choose yourself. Because you are worthy, right? And in order to get your divine blessings, in order to get what is meant for you by the divine, you have to be willing to do this and walk with him so that he can heal you and put you on your path. Okay? Okay. I'm going to get one more card. Let's see. And then we'll get some more messages. Whoa. Yeah. Right here. It flew right out. Believe in the impossible here. Yeah. The divine is here saying, when you get on this path, if you're already on this path, okay, congratulations. I am so, so, so proud of you because it's sometimes the hardest decision to choose yourself. Okay? So if you've made that decision and you've decided, you know what, I'm going to cut people and things that are holding me back from my dreams, from my path, from my divine blessings, from God, right? Because if somebody's keeping you from God, they're not the right person for you. Okay? But he wants you to believe in the impossible. When you get on this journey, because he is the supernatural, he can create doors that you think would never open. Okay? Believe in the impossible. But you've got to choose yourself, and you've got to choose the divine and letting him lead you, not on your agenda, but on his. Okay? Okay. So, let's get more information on this. Okay. All right. And it takes, it takes a lot of strength, okay? It takes strength and boundaries, right? We talked about boundaries being gates versus walls, right? And realizing your worth and your value and your energy doesn't, not everybody gets access to it because it's valuable. Your peace is non-negotiable, okay? And you're going to realize it when you cut away all the people, the distractions, the things, maybe it's family for some of you, whatever it is, right? That's keeping you stuck, shrunk, and on a lower vibration, okay? And you choose yourself. It's going to give you so much clarity, okay, about yourself, who you are. You may, and on this path, when you surrender like this, okay, God's going to even show you talents that you didn't even know you had because you've been too busy guiding your own boat, okay, with the wrong people in it, right? And allowing them to steer you, right? Steering you in the wrong direction in most cases, right? If they're keeping you stuck, right? If you have the right people in your boat, right? That God has led to has led to you, right? In your path. But it's through this solo. Also, the divine will give you that high level of discernment, right? So that you don't surround yourself with people who aren't worthy and deserving of your energy or your time or your investment, right? This is so, so, so valuable. Yet it will absolutely change your entire life if you're willing to step into this. But it's hard because when you step away from people you've had in your life for a long time, right? Who enjoyed your company while you were broken, enjoyed your company while you were small, enjoyed your company while you stayed silent, enjoyed your company while you stayed small, right? They're all going to have an issue with you, right? When you choose yourself, you choose to grow and expand because that's not the path they're currently choosing. So they're going to make you feel guilty, make you feel bad. What's wrong with you? Now you think you're better than us or stuff like that, right? But it's not even about that. It's about you choosing yourself. It's just that because you did, you've triggered them. Okay, so don't let other people getting triggered by you choosing growth to keep you stuck. Okay? All right. Believe in the impossible. That's the divine. Right? He delivers the impossible. It's like people forget about that, right? Because they're too busy trying to control their own narrative and control the boat, right? It says, I am open to the flow of great abundance in all areas of my life. Yeah, that's going with the flow here. This is also talking about flow here. It says, you are the master of finding life's flow, right? That could be, some people are just getting into this boat, right? Some people have already been in this boat for some time, right? And you are surrendered, right? Going with the flow, why God guides you here. And it's guiding you to your abundance in all areas of your life, right? All the impossible things. Because you are limitless here. I'm hearing there's nothing you can't do, right? But if you surround yourself with people who don't see you in that light, right? They want to keep you small. They don't want you to be in this energy, because then what happens is that you reflect to them the choices they've made in their life to stay stuck, and that's triggering. Okay? So don't allow other people to keep you from letting the divine guide you, even if it requires to you to be on a solo journey for a season, so you can get that clarity, that growth, that higher perspective, and really truly know who you are and what you are deserving and worthy of, and giving that love to yourself, because that's what makes you limitless. Okay. Let's see. The progress you have made matters more than you know. Yeah. You know, and the color of her dress is the color of this. It's like every single day that you choose yourself, okay, you choose the healing path, you choose the divine guidance, okay, is progress. Progress that, you know, in most cases you don't realize because you're in it, right? But you're gonna be able to look back and think, oh wow, I have come a long way. Like, to a point where you don't even recognize yourself, because you've transformed yourself into a higher version, a version of truth, right? Truth is power, you know, especially in the world we live in right now. Okay, let's see. Be kind to yourself. Yeah. So as you're going through this, you need to be kind to yourself. Okay? Because there's a lot of self-reflection going on decisions, choices, things that we may have made, you know, choices we made about people, relationships of the past, right? You know, people distancing themselves, or, you know, you may be wondering, like, how come that person doesn't call anymore? Or how come they're not returning my call? It's all divinely orchestrated for the greater good. Okay? So don't look at it in a negative light. Look at it as a blessing, because as God closes that door, He's going to open a new one. But He's got to heal you first, because if you don't heal, then you're just going to attract more of what, you know, you had in, right? But you want something more, right? For yourself, in your relationships. You don't want the past, right? You're letting that go. You're stepping in your truth. And now God's showing you who you really are, which is you are limitless. And so He wants you to believe in the impossible here. All He needs you to do is go with the flow. Go with the flow of loving yourself, healing yourself, and forgiving yourself. That's another thing. You know? And don't beat I'm getting this, like, don't beat yourself up about your past decisions or your past people or whatever, because they were lessons to teach you something, to create growth in your life, okay? So you need to change your perspective and say, you know what? What could I have learned from that relationship? What did it teach me? Because by doing that, you're flipping the script and turning that relationship into something powerful in your life, okay? You're not being a victim. You're not feeling sorry for yourself, right? And you're not blaming the other person. This is about forgiving, releasing, and turning that situation into something powerful in your life, okay? We have the King of Swords. Okay. And that's all about, there could be a King of Swords coming into your life. We'll get some more information. But the King of Swords, he speaks truth, right? He's very organized. He thinks things through before he speaks. He's a great communicator. Okay, so there could be a King of Swords coming into your life. Or it could also be like a Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. Doesn't have to be. Hold the vision, trust the process. Yeah. Going with the flow and holding the vision here. So those of you who are in here, this boat already, right? Because we're all on different timelines. So I'm trying to kind of cover everybody. If you're just starting or in it, you know, right? You need to trust the process. Trust the vision. And if you have days where you are doubting or you want to go back to something that's comfortable, you need to take that to the divine. Don't act out of emotions or feelings, because those are just temporary, right? You need to hold on to your vision here. Because anything is possible. The divine wants you to believe in the impossible. Forgiveness is easy. Trust is much more difficult and should never be given lightly. Right? And, you know, forgiveness isn't always easy, especially when it comes to ourselves, right? Maybe we made decisions in relationships when we saw the red flags, but yet we did it anyways, right? Those kind of decisions can be hard to forgive, right? But we need to forgive and release, right? And then also, you know, let people show you who they are before you freely give them your trust and respect, right? We have fire here. So you could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, I'm speaking to. Okay? Or, it doesn't have to be, or I'm hearing like the divine, I'm hearing you're on fire. It could be like you're on fire with where you're going, right? When I say fire, I mean passion, right? You're passionate about where the divine is taking you as well. Let's see. It says fear. And it's defined in two different ways. Fear is. It says forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Okay? And you know, maybe that's something you're feeling about surrendering to the journey and choosing yourself here, right? Being true to who you are, letting go of the past. People, situations, relationships, things, and it could be jobs, it could be attachments to things that you hold on to for comfort, right? All those things have to be released because they are energetic cords that are keeping you from becoming this limitless energy, right? Right? And it says fear. It will forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. You know, facing everything and rising, that's fearless, being fearless, right? And fear is an illusion, okay? Fear is an energy that's meant to keep you stuck, but it's not real. It's like so many dreams that people have don't become a reality because of the energy of fear. Fear of not having enough, fear of this, but the thing is the more energy, I'm going to give an example. Like, let's say, you know, fear of not having enough money, or fear of, well, if I leave this job, there's not going to be another job, you know. Whatever you give when you give your energy to your fears, okay, then that's what you manifest. So fear is something you do not want to be in, because what you fear, and like, let's say it's money, right? And you're just like, fear, 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 fear. I'm worried about money. I'm worried about money. I'm worried about money. And I'm just in this fear. What if this happens? What if I don't have enough? What if that, right? And you give all that energy. Well, guess what? You're going to get more lack. You're going to get more money problems. You're going to get more of that energy. Instead of being, you know what? I surrender my money issues to divine, because I will be abundant. I will be financially secure by the divine. He will protect me. That's feeding your energy on everything that you want. I will be financially abundant. I will be financially secure. Right? You're giving your energy to that. So then what's going to happen? You're going to get that. That's why it's so important. I was raised in a household where my family operated out of fear. Fear of everything. And guess what? They just got more of that. And all the things that they feared, right, kept them stuck. So, the divine wants you to surrender your fears, right? Lean on him, because he's going to guide you here if you're not already there. And believe in the impossible. We have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, okay? And this could be a business partnership, okay? It's people working together, right? So this King of Swords may have maybe coming in with like some kind of partnership or work opportunity. Take it how it resonates with you. It says relationships are not about finding the perfect partner, but learning to see your imperfect partner perfectly. Okay? Yeah, well, nobody's perfect, right? But what you do need to realize and recognize is that making sure that the other person's imperfections aren't damaging to you, right? We all have imperfections, right? That don't hurt other people. But then sometimes we have imperfections that can, right? So just make sure that whoever you choose, that those imperfections don't create pain in your life, right? But you don't want to stick in the energy of fear, okay? Fear leads to nowhere. It's like sitting in a rocking chair and you're never going anywhere, right? You're just staying stuck in this energy of fear, of what could happen, right? Let's see. Cry a river, build a bridge, then walk your butt right over it. So that's funny. So maybe, crying a river, that's about healing, okay? Maybe some of you need a good cry here, okay? And crying is healing. Don't be afraid to feel your emotions. It's part of the healing process, okay? It's like, and that's why it says build a bridge and then you walk your butt over it, right? Turning that situation into power, letting it go, stepping in your truth, right? Crying is releasing, Don't let anybody make you feel that crying is a weakness. And anybody who's telling you that is somebody who needs to cry, okay? Because they're not feeling anything. Number 6 could be significant. That's what we have here. Okay. Take that how that resonates here. Maybe something significant is happening on the 6th of September. But I'm also getting the 6. I'm seeing the in tarot the 6 of Swords. You know, it's moving forward, right? Moving on from the past. Moving, like it looks exactly like this boat here. The card does. It's like you're moving forward, allowing the divine to guide you to the impossible. That's what I'm hearing. To the impossible. It says, every act of love and kindness raises the vibration of the entire universe. So I'm doing my small part to spread something positive. Yes, it's an energy exchange. You know, every act of love and kindness raises the vibration of the collective. Okay? So, you know, just make sure you do your part. Do something, right? There's always something that we can do. And that might be, you know, where the divine is leading you, okay? And there's also a heart here. So, you know, it could be leading you to a new love. It could be leading you to something you love doing, right? That's going to raise the vibration of the universe here, of the collective, by showing that love and kindness for others. It says, dysfunctional parents do not apologize. It is one feature that the children of narcissists would instantly agree on. They will lie and justify themselves, but never accept that they did anything wrong. Okay, so maybe you had narcissistic parents, okay, that refused to apologize for how you were treated, right, as a child. Or it could be even up into adulthood, depending on if you're still connected with them or not, right? But if you are still connected with dysfunctional parents, you've got to have good, solid boundaries, okay? Because those are the type of people that want to keep you small so that they don't have to look at themselves. Because once you outgrow them, or once you elevate and grow beyond where they're at, now you become a threat, okay? And they're never going to apologize, okay? Because they operate out of their ego. Their ego drives them. So just know it's not about you, okay? When parents operate out or are narcissists or have narcissistic traits, okay? It's because they haven't done their own healing and they have projected all of their insecurities. And that's what a narcissist is somebody with a fragile ego, very insecure, right? You wouldn't think that by the way that they act, but it's all a mask. Okay? So, you know, your growth, you choosing to let go of the past, you choosing to walk in your truth is a huge trigger. Right? For them. You know, parents like this typically want to keep you small, stuck, not believing in yourself, making you second guess everything, questioning even who you are to the core, because they've slapped so many labels on you. You're confused as to who you are, right? So it's choosing you to put yourself in this boat with God without people like this throwing labels at you or projecting on you or gaslighting you, right? So that you can see the truth of who you are, and which is you are limitless, and God wants you to believe in the impossible here. Okay? And you didn't deserve to have parents like this. Okay? But they did, you have to look at it as, what did they teach me? What did they show me? You've got to have that higher perspective. And once you do, then you have the power. Okay? Because people like this, they're constantly going to make you feel guilty for choosing yourself, or if you put boundaries up, then the guilt trips are off the chain. And how dare you not feed me with your energy, your time, right? Making you feel like you're selfish when in reality they're selfish because they make it always about them, right? Don't blame yourself for that. I'm my heart goes out to you if you are somebody that had dysfunctional parents or parents that had narcissistic tendencies or whatever. My heart goes out to you because you didn't deserve that, right? But you have the power to turn it into something where you can stand in your truth and be that limitless inspiration of light for others, okay? Spend your life in your own way. By getting in this boat, right? You can walk in your truth and do life your own way here. And I'm also hearing, this could have been you in the past where you cried a river. Like maybe you cried so much with having dysfunctional parents and relationships that were not deserving of you, right? Over and over again, right? That you decided, you know what? I'm building a bridge. I'm walking my butt over it, right? And choosing myself. I'm tired of this. That could be your story as well. And you're ready to spend your life in your own way. The greatest wealth is health. Yeah, and that might be what you're doing. Focusing on you and your health. Understanding the value while everybody was trying to drain you and take from you, leaving you with an empty cup. Right? Having nothing to give, not even yourself, right? Because these type of people, right, and these relationships, they're just takers. And then want to tell you you're the selfish one because you want to grow and focus on your health, right? Don't let them hold you back, right? Choose yourself. Choose the divine. Find someone who wants to invest in you, learn from you, see you win, support your vision, and fall in love with you daily. Okay, this is where you're going. No more of this. No more of this dysfunctional parental issues, right? You've letting that go. You truly see who you are. Yeah, and I'm speaking to someone who's been in this boat for some time now. And like I said, we're all on different journeys here, right? And maybe you thought someone like this is impossible. Like, oh my gosh, my parents, my relationships, my friends, people, it's just, they line up one right after another. I could cry a river, or I have cried a river, But these relationships all were to teach you a lesson, okay? And the lesson is loving yourself and seeking the divine, walking with the divine. But this is what's coming in now, okay? And maybe you thought it was impossible, but it's coming. Okay? I'm hearing don't fear this. Okay? Find someone who wants to invest in you, learn from you, see you win, support your vision, and fall in love with you daily. We did have this. Hold the vision, trust the process. Okay? This person is coming in, and wants to give you this. Okay? It could be a partnership. It could be, I'm hearing blessing. It could be just a blessing. And when you surrender to the divine and you choose yourself, the path, the harder path, not the easier path, the harder path to heal yourself and surrender on a journey that may require you to be alone, okay? It comes with amazing blessings, not overnight, right? You got to stay the path because it takes time to release all these things and heal from toxic parents, all this stuff, right? Which is why you've probably cried a river or a lake in some cases, right? But you realized that didn't need to define you, right? And now something real, true, I'm hearing genuine is ready to walk into your life now. It says, if God be our God, he will give us peace in trouble. When there is a storm without, he will make peace within. The world can create trouble in peace, but God can create peace in trouble. Okay, I'm going to read that one more time. If God be our God, he will give us peace in trouble. Yeah, that's what he's done here. He's given you peace. You found that peace alone with him. When there is a storm without, he will make peace within. Yeah, if you're in the middle of a storm, he's the one that will, despite every chaos going around you, he will provide you that peace within yourself. It says the world can create trouble in peace, but God can create peace and trouble, okay? So when the world or people around you want to create trouble, when you found your peace, right? Just know that God can create peace in your troubles, okay? Okay. Let's see. God uses broken things. Yeah. And this heart is in like so many pieces. This is you. This is you from your past. Your heart has been broken so many times. That's why we have Cry a River here. Right? Maybe you believed in people's potential. That's what I'm hearing. You believed in people's potential, not the truth. Okay? And I think I'm speaking to someone who was like, I'm broken so much by people that are supposed to love me, right? That I have nothing left but to surrender to the divine here, right? And now he's been guiding you to clarity about who you are and realizing he's going to use you for a higher purpose. That's what I'm getting. God uses broken things to make big statements. If you know anything about all the major stories in the Bible, they are from people that were broken, or who have been through hell, and he transforms them into being a major purpose in his light. It's not the perfect people walking around that haven't been through this that he uses, right? It's the ones that he heals, the ones that have faith in him, that he will put them back together. Confirmation on my computer. And then it says, oh, the places you'll go. Yeah, this is the impossible hot air balloon. This is about ascension, elevation, growth, right? Elevating you right out of this old narrative here, right? Surrendering, knowing that you're limitless. This person's coming in to offer you I'm hearing your dreams, your vision. Vision is really sticking out here, right? Because you are true to who you are. You've let go of the past, right? God puts you back together. He's getting ready to elevate you now. And now he needs you to believe in the impossible. This is so flipping beautiful. These are the stories that God makes. And that's the tearjerker. So for whoever that is for, this message is for, and it may resonate different parts, on where you are in your journey, okay? But remember how powerful he is and what he can do for you. Because it's people that are broken, right? That, had so much love, right? That he uses in his name for purpose, okay? All right. So I'm not going to pull any more I'm not going to pull cards on love because I really feel this is about you, your journey, where God's taking you and where it's leading you to. This limitless, you're limitless and believing in the impossible. Okay? And I know it's probably been lengthy already. So I'm just going to get a card to close up this reading, but this is really powerful. And whoever has chosen this path, okay, you need to celebrate yourself because I don't think you realize how unique and rare and beautiful you are, because this path is not for the weak. It's for it's somebody who has pure determination and strength, that knowing that you're worthy and deserving of a love, the highest love at all, right? And letting the divine guide you. And not allowing these dysfunctional parents or all these toxic relationships of your past who broke you into these million pieces here, right? Say that you're not going to have that. To say that you're not worthy of that, or you're not worthy of even loving yourself, right? Right? You change that, and God's going to use that for a higher purpose. Okay? And you're wondering, how is he going to do that? You don't have to worry about that because he's already working all that out. He is working on putting people in your path to make that happen, okay? The more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. Yes, you could be seeing hummingbirds. But I said fearless earlier. You're limitless here. Right? You're fearless, you're limitless, you believe in the impossible now. The divine may have already shown you miracles and magic in your path, right? What he's capable of doing. I'm hearing that as well. Like, continue to put your energy and intention in your faith, because that's what makes you fearless and free. Okay? Because that's the faith in the divine, right? And letting him guide you. Okay, I'll get one angel number and then we'll close it up. But this was really intense, but yet very beautiful. So keep going, keep moving forward. You're going to the best version of yourself. And you know, when it's hard and you feel like you want to cry a river, take it to the divine, but still get, you know, still feel those emotions. Okay. It says, I am wise. Yeah, this whole journey taught you incredible amount of wisdom. Okay? And that is power. Okay? Power to never be manipulated again. Or, you know, because the divine's going to give you that higher perspective where you'll be able to see things. Right? No longer confused. You have the clarity. Right? Seeing, I'm hearing seeing what others can't see. Okay? It says your love for others is powerful and you are able to spread your gift of support far and wide. Your curious and social nature brings you in contact with a variety of people, all of would benefit from your warm, heartfelt words of wisdom. I think this came out on, I don't know, a couple days ago. Number 15. If you see that number, it's confirmation that this is your reading, right? But this is leading you to incredible amount of wisdom, right? That's why I was saying, like, if you look at every situation of your past and reflect on it, how you can turn it into power, it will show you immense wisdom. And God will show you that as well. Okay? All right. That's the message I have for you today. I hope it's resonated with you. I hope it was insightful and gave you some information on how you can grow and expand and get unstuck and seeking that, you know, best version of yourself. I do daily readings Monday through Friday, so, you know, check back on Monday, see if something resonates for you there. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel because it gets messages like this that really need to get out to people who are searching for that kind of clarity. It helps get those messages to them. So I really appreciate it. And as far as your weekend, do something fun, magical, something for yourself. Celebrate yourself, okay? And I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care.